Hey, everybody. Welcome to another week with Ryan and Rodrigo. And a couple weeks ago, we described how the how the presidential election was going to work, all of the confusing things related to that. And in the last couple weeks, I actually received my ballot in the mail. And so I'll be able to vote all the way from here in Sao Paulo. And I thought it would be interesting to share with everybody all the different things that we get to vote for in the United States, and for me specifically in the state of Oregon, and show you today what an American ballot looks like here on the show. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to explain all those things. And
Okay,
so, what, Rodrigo?
no, we in a previous show you talked about the election and how it
Hmm.
works, and I think this will help people with a much clearer idea of how it works and the practicality of voting. Okay,
Hmm.
it's completely different and very cool.
Hmm. Yeah. And so it was actually the day after we did that other episode that I got this in the mail. And it came with a bunch of stuff, a bunch of little letters and information about what to do. But the most important one I'm going to share with everybody here, and it's the ballot. It's the things that we get to vote for. And here it is on the screen. Um, and this is one side, there's another side. And you can see here that you have a bunch of different choices. And up in the top left, we'll zoom in and you can see the instructions. And what do you think, Rodrigo? Do you think that they're very specific? Do you think that they make sense about what to do?
Yes, they're very. I wouldn't say specific. They are specific, of course. They have to be, but they are clear. They are
Hmm.
very clear. There's no like legal English. It's just regular English. There's no. Of course, that you can interpret anything the way you want it, but it's not open for interpretation. It is what it is. Um, it's very clear, very simple. The language is simple. Is how can I say, accessible for everybody. Not everybody, but most people can understand. And
I
it's
think it's very,
it's
very
really
simple because it's similar. The process, what we have to do, is exactly the same as those tests that we used to take in high school, where you just have to fill in the bubble, have to fill in the thing with a black or blue pen to choose to make your choice, just like those multiple choice tests that we all used to take in high school.
But to be honest, here in Brazil, from what I remember, we have a history of not being clear in documents, whether they're high school level or academic level, and so when for example when I had to apply for vestibular for a college, uh, the the forms we had to fill, the forms I had to fill, they could be, and they're still a little confusing. So
Hmm.
I think this is very English like. This is clear and direct. The ballot, the intro of the ballot.
Yeah. Was there anything interesting on the introduction, on the directions for you? Anything that seemed different or special?
In the introduction, um, what the fact or the characteristic that popped as most interesting was the simplicity. Please use a black or blue ink pen to completely fill in the box to the left of your choice. It's that was that was the main characteristic for me.
Hmm.
How simple it is.
Yeah.
Okay,
I know that
and
in
also
the next part it says notes. You don't have to vote in all contests. And I know that in Brazil it's a requirement that you must vote for
Yeah,
all of the
yeah.
positions. You can
We
cancel your
can
vote, but you
exactly.
have to vote for the cancellation of your vote. You can't just not do it. It's a requirement
You
to do
can't
it.
skip. You
Yeah,
cannot skip,
yeah.
which
So
is
that's
weird because you can vote blank or nullify, cancel your vote,
mhm.
and it's so they can so they can so after the elections they can check how many people voted blank and how I don't really understand uh, the mechanics. The you could just skip if you're voting blank or canceling. You might as well just skip.
Yeah, seems like it. But that's them's the rules in Brazil. You got to vote.
Exactly, and so
Requirement.
also something very nice that we can see in how to vote part is that you can, in the last sentences, it says that fill in the box next to the line provided and write in the full name of the candidate. So it it uh, it introduces this idea of writing someone in
Hmm.
the ballot, right? And that's I know you're going to talk about it, but that's something completely different and new
Yeah.
uh,
We'll
for us.
we'll do that because something else we're going to do today is I am actually going to vote while we talk. And so we can get to the first set of candidates here. And it is the candidate that everyone is most focused on. Um, and here we have the candidate for president, right? And you see, you have Donald Trump and his vice president, Michael Pence, and then Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. And there are some other candidates too that nobody really talks about. Joe Jorgensen and Jeremy Spike Cohen. I just love that name.
One, yeah, exactly. That is a cool name for a vice president candidate. I'm pretty sure he would people would call him the VP.
Yeah.
So he's the VP. Howie Hawkins is also a cool name. H. Angela Walker, Dario Hunter, and this is a nice name, Dawn Neptune Adams. That's a beautiful sounding name.
Yeah. He's kind of
Probably hippie
a
parents.
hippie name. That's exactly what I was
Yeah,
thinking. Yeah.
kind of. You mean very much so, right? There's no other possibility. Progressive Party. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Now,
yeah.
I have a question. The
Uh-huh.
first thing that I noticed was that Donald Trump is the first in the list. And
Hmm.
so at first I said, oh, he's the first because it's alphabetically ordered. D and then J,
Hmm.
but then the other J is Joe and then H. And I said, uh, and I had to try to remember the alphabet because my mind just got confused. And then Dario said, "Oh no, that's wrong. J and H, I mistake sometimes. I don't know which comes before the other, but D, I know it's right up there, right in the beginning."
Uh-huh.
And then I said, "Oh, so maybe it's because Donald Trump is president." I said, "Well, that can't be it. They wouldn't." So I don't know. What is? Do you know if there's a specific order to that?
Well, I it's a good question. And I actually don't know. But if you when we look at some of the other candidates, I think it's just very random because here Donald Trump is the president, so he's the incumbent. We say he's currently in the position and he's running for re-election, so he's the incumbent. And if we look at some of the other positions, which we'll get to in just a minute, the incumbent isn't first. He can be the second one listed or the third one listed. And so I think that it's just very random. I think that they
Okay.
just made a lottery and and people got listed by random selection.
That would be fair, right?
Yeah, it seems like it's the most
Lottery.
fair. Yeah.
Okay. And it's just weird that Donald Trump won that lottery to be on top. But well, it's 1 in 5, right? So
Yeah, you win some, you lose some. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. And so,
maybe.
uh, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna vote for Joe Biden. That's how I feel, and I'll show you here in a second what it looks like.
Ryan,
Yeah,
why don't you vote for the Libertarian, Pacific Green, or Progressive Party? You're quite a progressive man. Why
yeah,
don't you
that's
vote for
true.
Dario Hunter?
But I don't know. I don't think that they're gonna win, so I don't want to vote for them. That's what I think.
So that's another question I have. I always, my whole life, ever since I started um, watching and learning and following the elections, it's Republican. I think the Republican, the elephant, right?
Yeah,
And the Democrats, the anteater,
a donkey.
a donkey. My God, okay, a donkey. All right, yeah, I remember now. So it's always been about the donkey and the elephant and the donkey. Okay, and either one of them wins, and there's no. And I never heard about libertarian, Pacific Green, or progressive. And for example, um, Bernie Sanders,
Hmm.
he was from another party, right?
He was from
Before,
not a party. He
oh,
is
he was independent.
independent. Yeah.
Okay, and then he had to join the Democrats so he could, if he wants. So, what is the thing with the Libertarian, Pacific Green, and Progressive Party? Why don't they get a say in that? Why don't we watch debate with them?
Well, the rules for the debate, I think, is that in the last election you have to win a certain percentage of the vote. And I don't remember exactly what it is. Maybe it's 5% or 7%.
Okay,
And libertarians and the Greens and the progressives, they never win more than 3 or 4%. So they don't get to participate in the debates because they're so insignificant that they don't get to participate.
okay.
And most
You mean
people,
number wise,
yeah,
right?
exactly. And
Okay,
most people vote for Democrats or Republicans because they have the most chance of winning. And voting for one of the other parties is almost like throwing your vote away. It doesn't it doesn't accomplish anything because that candidate is never going to win. So
but can you use the other one of the other three parties to as like a protest vote?
yeah, in fact, a lot of people say, I don't think this is really fair, but a lot of people say that in 2016, Hillary Clinton lost because so many people voted for a third party, voted for like the
Mhm.
Greens or the progressives in protest. And that if everyone had voted for either Republicans or Democrats, she would have won. And yeah, maybe it's true, but
Now another question: the delegates.
mm,
There are Democrats and Republicans.
yeah,
Republican delegates. Are there Libertarian delegates?
yeah, they exist.
Specific.
And if Joe Jorgensen wins the election in Oregon, then Joe Jorgensen's delegates get to participate. But her
That
delegates
never
will
happened.
never get to participate because she's not going to win. She'll only get
Okay.
2%, probably.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And so then the next one here is zoom out, go down for senator. And Brazil has senators, right? So this isn't
Yeah.
so confusing.
Different. Yeah.
Yeah. And also representative. And so all of these three, the president, the US senator, and the US representative, are federal offices.
So the
They
U.S. representative is similar to a diputado federal.
yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, and if you look here, you can see this is how you got to mark it. See with that black box that I put in there?
Mm-hmm.
You got to fill it in, and that's all you got to do. It's really simple. Yeah. Any other questions about these two? About the U.S. representative or the U.S. senator?
No, not really.
No. Yeah. I actually worked when like years ago, 12 years ago, I actually worked on the election, the first election for this senator, Jeff Merkley, and the first election for this representative, Kurt Schrader. I actually worked on that election for both of them when it was their first time.
Nice. I have a question. Are these local people from Canby or no? These are
Kurt Schrader he is from Canby. He's a veterinarian in Canby. And he has a son that's the same age as me. So we played basketball together when we were like 12 years old. Me and Kurt Schrader's son.
Unrelated question. How do you call a veterinarian? What is the short way to
a vet?
He's a veterinarian. Vet. And how do you call a veteran? A war veteran?
A vet. Yeah, it's confusing.
How do you? Okay. So he's a vet, and people. Oh, thank you, sir, for your service. No, I'm just take care of cats. Oh,
Yeah.
Thank you anyway.
Thank you anyway. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah. So then the next one is they have state offices. So we just did federal offices, and here we have some state offices. And these people only work in my state, in the state of Oregon. And the other people, they go to Washington, D.C., and they go there and they work there and do whatever it is that they do there. Like people here that work in the state of Sao Paulo, and other people, they go to Brasilia and do whatever it is that politicians do in Brasilia.
Okay. It's like a deputado estadual, something like that.
Yeah, that would be further down. Here, the Secretary of State, this is the person that manages like elections mostly. That's their job, is to make sure elections are properly managed. And the treasurer handles the money for the state, and the attorney general handles all of the police for the state. Do you have all of these positions in Brazil or not really?
Yeah, we do. We do. I don't remember their names exactly.
Do you vote for them also, or does the governor appoint them?
No, we don't. We vote for, we have two elections. Every 2 years we have an election. And we have an election for president, governor, senator.
Uh-huh.
Then deputado federal, deputado estadual. Then we have mayor. And 2 years later we have mayor and city council.
Right. Something I've always been curious about is, how do the senators work? Because in the United States, our senators, they serve for 6 years.
No. My God, you caught me off guard here. I don't remember exactly.
You don't remember?
Just not exactly. Let me check, because senators I know they're different.
Yeah, nobody knows. I ask my students sometimes, and they don't know either.
No, we don't.
What the rule is for senators?
8 years.
8 years. Okay.
8 years.
So they serve twice as long as the representatives.
President. Yes.
Okay. Nice.
And something interesting. We have curious senators here. Like, for example, I don't know. You heard about our former president. He was impeached in 1991, 1992.
Yeah.
Fernando Collor.
Yeah.
He became a senator. Our biggest one of our biggest football stars, soccer, Romario, became a senator. Um, well, just to name a few. But Collor became a senator. Juma was a senator. So
She was a senator before or after she was president?
before.
Before. And she ran but didn't win, right? Last time?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. 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 Um, I don't think it's quite the same in the United States. Usually, people like this, weird people like soccer players, basketball players, these people, they end up either as representatives or in the next part, the state representatives, which you said earlier is the deputado estadual.
So, yeah, sorry, you got cut. I couldn't hear you.
You said earlier the deputado estadual. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of weird people that end up in this office.
Oh, anybody like here in Brazil, that's. I'm sure in America that's open too, but yeah, there's a lot of weird. Not only estadual, federal too. Tiririca, and some of them are not even bad politicians. It's
Mm-hmm.
just weird that they get in,
Yeah.
and that's like a popularity. It's kind of like presidency. It's like a popularity contest.
Mm-hmm.
You start becoming popular, and then you try to get in as a deputado federal or estadual.
Mm-hmm. It's just usually in the United States, the federal offices. I don't know. They for some reason they keep the crazies out of those. Usually,
For
sometimes they get
for
in,
good
but
reason.
usually they don't. But the state offices, not as much.
But how do they do that? Because can you really control that?
I don't know.
It's just people choose not to choose the crazies.
Yeah, or maybe because you need so much money to be a federal politician, the people with money refuse to give it to crazy people.
All right.
But to be a state
That makes
politician, you
sense.
don't need as much money, so crazy people can do it.
Okay. I said it wrong. Juma wasn't senator, minister. I
Yeah,
I confused both.
yeah, yeah. So
Uh,
here we have the state
he tried.
representative. Yeah. And then something that is actually different, because so far a lot of these have been pretty similar with Brazil. In the United States, the next one, the state judicial offices. In the US, we actually vote for judges.
Yeah, we don't.
And what do you think about that? How do you think that would work in Brazil?
I think I think that's a good idea. Um, but because of um, like what you said about the federal um, candidates, they need a lot of money. The judges that would win would be the richest judges. So I don't think it would be fair. I don't know if it would be fair. So it seems like a good idea, but I don't know how that would work in Brazil. If it will, I don't think it will work. I think it would just be the same.
Yeah.
I think it would
And
just be the same.
and then something interesting here is that these judges don't even have an opponent. No one is running against them.
But that's weird because there's no other judges that want to be.
Or
That's weird.
they know that it's impossible to win, so it's not worth their time or money to try to run
Okay.
against them, I Yes.
And all these candidates, like legislative, well, state representative for sure, but secretary of treasurer, state judicial offices, judge of the Supreme Court, do they also have campaigns where they go from town to town or from place to place?
Yeah,
Uh, they also,
definitely.
okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
right.
Um, and here for the state judge, I'm going to do what I've been doing for several elections, and I'm going to do a write-in because he doesn't have an opponent, and I think that my dad, who we've seen on the show, I think that my dad, he's a lawyer. I think he'd be a good judge, so I'm going to put him in on this first position. So you got to mark the box that says write-in, and then I have to write his name. I have to write Andrew Kaufman. And that's all. Let's see.
If
On here,
if I were
see
to
it
move to
says.
America, if I were to move to America today,
Mhm.
and if I were given the green card and the ability to vote,
So
okay,
citizenship, you have to be a
today,
citizen.
citizenship, yeah. I would write in your father and your mother for all of them, okay? Not you, not your sisters, just because they're young, but they're nice. Lily, I don't know. I'm pretty sure she's nice, but Marty, she's amazing. And but your mom and dad, they're my favorite people in America. Like they're higher. You're third.
Thank you.
You're
And I'm
third.
not even in America, so if
I
I'm
know you're
your
fourth. There's Kate.
if I'm your third favorite person in America and I'm not even there, wow, that's
See, yeah, fourth. There's Kate. I forgot Kate.
still.
Yeah. So, but okay.
Uh, and then the next position, I'm not even going to vote. I don't know who this Jacqueline person is. I'm sure she's great, but I'm just going to not mark anything for that one,
Can
which
you
I can
write
do.
in a celebrity?
I could. I could write Mickey Mouse. I could write
Nah, Mickey Rourke.
Mickey Rourke.
Yeah.
Every
Yeah.
election, Mickey Mouse gets thousands of votes for president.
Yeah. We had
Yeah.
something in Brazil. I don't remember the name, but there was a protest candidate once, long time ago.
Yeah. Do you remember who you don't remember who it was?
It wasn't. Let me find here.
Yeah, all kinds of weird celebrities get votes for president every election. Mickey Mouse is usually one of the most popular. I'm sure that The Rock will be very popular this year.
Oh yes, yes. The Rock. He always talks about being a candidate. Kanye also. Do you think that will ever happen? And if it does, um, do you? What party would they be? Would they be Kanye? Probably Republican, right? But
Yeah, I
what
don't
about The
know
Rock? Do you know?
because Kanye he he tried to be a candidate this time, but it was like a very Kanye attempt because it was so late and so badly planned that it didn't happen. He wasn't allowed to be on the ballot because it was too late. He didn't have enough support. He didn't make the deadline to be on the ballot. And I think he would have been an independent. He wouldn't have been with any party. But
I Okay. I found here the info I wanted. There were two protest votes. There was a rhinoceros called Cacareco. He was a female rhino in the Rio de Janeiro Zoo, and she got voted 100,000 votes. At that time, we had writing because it was paper.
uh-huh.
So, and there was Macaco Tião, which was a monkey, and he was also there was a magazine, just like National Lampoon magazine,
Mm-hmm.
here in Brazil, and they launched his candidacy, and he was voted. Um, I don't know how many votes, but he got a lot of votes. A lot of votes. The third, he got the he got in third in
Mm-hmm.
Rio.
Yeah.
So that happened in Brazil twice. The rhino and the monkey.
Yeah. Well, the write-in candidates almost never win, but it was like 10 years ago. A Senate candidate, federal Senate candidate, actually won a write-in campaign in
Oh,
Alaska, which was really impressive. And she's still a senator today.
well, that's cool.
Yeah,
That's very
she had
nice.
to she had to get hundreds of thousands of people to write her name.
Not Sarah Palin, right?
No, no, no. Her name is
Okay.
Murkowski.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Um, so the next one we have our local things, and the first one here is called the county commissioner. And I guess in Brazil you don't really have counties, right?
No, no,
No,
we don't.
they're like a level of government in between the city and the state. So if
Um,
you think of like different cities, if there was a level of government that organized the cities, so you could have 5 or 6
we
different cities together. And
we do have something similar in the ABCs. There are 7 cities: Santo André, São Bernardo, São Caetano, Mauá, Diadema, Ribeirão Pires, Rio Grande da Serra.
mm-hmm.
They got together and they formed a consortium. Maybe I don't know if that's the word in English.
Yeah,
They formed a group, and that could be similar. It's not, because it's not an official political division, but they formed a group and then they take decisions together. Uh, so that could be something similar.
it could
But
be. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. And also there's a lot of people in the United States that don't live in any city, which doesn't really exist in Brazil. Everybody in Brazil lives in a perfeito, right?
yeah.
But in the United States, there are a lot of places that are not part of any city. It's just unorganized land that's just there, and people live there, and they're not part of any city.
Okay, but they don't. It's not actually living off the grid, right? It's just not
No,
living in a city.
they don't live in a city. They live in the county, which is the next level up. And yeah,
I think the most famous county in Brazil for Brazilian people is Orange County.
probably because there's a TV show about
And a very good one.
it.
Marisa, Seth, Ryan. Yeah, that's a great one for the first 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so here I got to vote for the county commissioner, but I don't know either of
Okay.
these people either. So I'm not going to. And then the
They're from
sheriff.
Camby.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
But there's
You would know them.
Canby, Clackamas County is the county that we're in, and it's huge. It's really big. It probably has 20 or 30 different cities.
So like 100,000 people.
Probably,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
it's probably more, but it's a big amount of land. You can see
Okay.
on the map sometime if you want, but it's a lot of space.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the next here is the sheriff, which I'm sure you've heard about in TV and movies, especially in old westerns. You have the sheriff doing stuff. But in the United States, the sheriff is really like the administrator of the police. He's the manager of whatever the police are doing. So it's like a
In
desk
Brooklyn
office job.
99, Andre Bauer would be the sheriff.
I think. Well, I don't know because I don't watch that show. But the sheriff is usually like a big manager. And I think Brooklyn Nine-Nine is about like one specific
Yeah.
district. Yeah.
Yes. No, he's the boss. He's the person in charge of that district.
Yeah, so probably not. Yeah.
You should watch it.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard, but maybe.
Okay.
So the sheriff doesn't usually like go off on patrol and do things in the field. The sheriff is usually at the office handling administrative bullshit, making decisions about the budget and other stuff.
But in very small towns, they might be in service too, right?
In very small towns, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And here
because
again,
you don't need a lot of police officers, right? So you have the sheriff and two, like, because here in Brazil it's difficult to have towns or cities with 500,000 people. It's very difficult.
Yeah.
But in America, that's not rare, right?
That's true. But you see here that it's the county sheriff. So this is the police for all of those 20 or 30 towns.
Okay.
And Canby does have its own police, but it's a very small force. And yeah.
And are there elections for the local police?
For the chief of police, yeah, I don't know, actually. That's a good question. I don't remember if we voted for the chief of police last year or the year before, or if the mayor, which is the next position here, if the mayor appoints the chief of police in the city. I can't remember. Yeah. But here we have the mayor of my little city. And my city, Canby, only has about 15,000 people. And this guy, Brian Hodson, has been the mayor for almost 15, 20 years, I guess, since 2000 or 2004. I don't remember when his first term was. And everyone loves him so much that no one runs against him anymore.
You know him?
No, but everybody else does. I haven't lived there since 2004, so.
Oh, and that can only happen for mayors, because for president you can only have 2 terms, right?
That's right. Yeah.
But for mayors, that's fine.
Mm-hmm. And it really depends on the city. I think like Los Angeles and New York might have limits for how long their mayors can be mayor. Canby doesn't. I think Seattle does. Portland might. Other cities, it really just depends on the city. Yeah.
Okay.
And then the next is the city councilor, which in Brazil is a vereador. And I guess they do about the same things. They make decisions with the mayor.
They have one.
One what?
Counselor.
No, you see, I have to vote for 4.
Okay.
Yeah. And one of them was actually my high school teacher. Christopher Banks was my teacher in high school. So I know him.
Nice.
But I don't know any of the other ones.
So you can vote for 1. You don't need to vote for 4. You should, but you don't need to.
Yeah, exactly.
Or you can vote for
the maximum that I can vote for is 4.
Right.
Yeah. And do you remember in Parks and Rec that the city had a mayor and a manager?
Yes.
Yeah, Canby does too. So in Canby, we elect the mayor, but the manager handles the day-to-day business, and he's not elected the city council hires the manager to handle whatever stuff is going on every day, and the mayor
Okay.
just is there making decisions.
Okay.
Yeah. And then this second page is, uh, I think, very different from Brazil. Um,
Definitely.
First, we have these things called special districts, which are kind of hard to explain. Um, Here, therefore, soil and water conservation, like a very farming thing, because Canby is a very like agricultural area. There's a lot of farms there for all kinds of stuff. And so what you can do in the United States is you can create like a like a private government for an area. If you want to say, yeah, everything from this road over here to the river over here, I'm going to make a government here. And we can create taxes and we can build roads and we can do whatever for this very small space. And here they wanted to make a government about soil and water conservation for a small area so they could raise some taxes and pay to protect the water and the soil in this area. And here I have to vote for the director of of this tiny little government. It's not a city, it's not a state, it's a tiny government of a very specific area.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's we here in Brazil we have subprefeitura,
Yeah.
like sub mayor, sub city hall,
Mm-hmm.
and it can be, but it's not as specific at this one as this one, soil and water, for example. No, it's
In
not like
Florida, they
that.
have mosquito districts. So
Hmm.
you live in a in a special district, and you have to pay a certain amount of tax every year. And the special district government kills mosquitoes. That's what they do.
No special offices for special district offices for alligators in
They
Florida.
might. I don't know.
Yeah, depending on the place.
Depending on the place, exactly. You can create special districts for almost anything that you want. It's just that the people
You can
living in the
create
district
and
have to approve it.
you they have to approve your idea to be in the ballot and then vote in the ballot, or if
Yeah.
you go there, okay, right. So first, the state or somebody has to approve,
The
and it's a
idea.
check. Oh no,
And
okay, right.
then the people that live in the district have to approve also. So if you want to create a special district about searching for space aliens, I have a feeling that the state would not approve that because it's crazy.
But I also have a feeling that there are special district offices for alien and stuff
Maybe,
like that in
but
some states,
yeah,
some cities.
it could. But then the people living in the district would have to approve it, and they would have to approve taxes to pay for it.
Okay,
All very
yeah, that's
democratic.
very different.
Yeah. So that's just what this is some directors of
Okay.
special districts. And then the next thing is we have referendums and initiatives. And you guys have referendums, right?
Yeah, once every 20 years, if something is very big, if something, a referendum has to be approved to be a referendum. But yeah, we do. I think the last one we had was about gun regulation.
Yeah.
Uh,
I remember
yeah,
one having to do
2000.
with wasn't there one having to do with using the money from the oil money, the pre-sol money, to pay for something?
I don't remember.
in
Maybe, but no,
2012
no,
or 2014.
no. I don't think there was. Maybe
No?
there were talks about it, but I don't think there
Okay.
was.
All right. Well, here, and we can look at this one on the left first. We
This
have,
is, in my opinion, this is the most interesting part.
yeah.
Biggest difference and the most interesting part. Yeah.
So here we have two different things. And the first is a referendum. And it's a referendum because the politicians referred it to the people. The politicians said, look, we have this new law. What do you think of it? And they're asking the people to vote yes or no. And so this first one here, Measure 107, it changes the Constitution, amends the Constitution, and it allows laws limiting political campaign contributions and expenditures. So it's talking about money in politics, and it allows the limitation of money in politics because right now there are very few limits, and so they want to change the Constitution to make some limitations.
Okay. Well, that sounds very cool. And what's the best part is that you have the amendment or the law or whatever the measure, and right below the measure, right after the measure, you have the result of a yes vote and the result of a no vote, and it's very clearly explained because
Yeah.
it doesn't. It's not nice if you just have the uh, the measure and then yes or no, and people don't really know if they're voting actually voting yes in favor or yes against, because yes can be the according to the way that the measure is worded, yes can be no and no can mean yes. So uh, this is very clear, crystal clear. So if you vote yes, this will happen. If you vote no, this will happen.
And they also send this pamphlet, which I don't know if that word exists in Portuguese. This pamphlet that
Yes, it is. It
explains
does.
all of the laws, all of the things that we vote on have a longer explanation, and they send it to us here that tell us like the exact cost of something, exactly how much it will cost you based on your income. It gives you a very nice explanation of everything.
Okay, Ryan, you're in Brazil, so you're voting. Uh, you got this on your house, right?
Mhm.
And you're voting by mail, email, electronic mail. And so you got all these pamphlets and leaflets and everything. But what about your parents and your sisters, for example? What did they get that too? Did they have to go and vote? What how does that work?
Well, they got the exact same paper. They got the exact same ballot that I got. Um, but because I live overseas, um, me and anyone else that doesn't live in the United States currently, we get to vote by email or fax. So when I finish voting, I can take a scan of this, both sides, and I can send it by email to the election office. And then I'm done. I don't have to do anything else. Anyone who
What if you don't
lives,
vote?
if I don't vote, I don't have to do anything.
Do you get fined?
No, no.
You
And
don't have to vote?
don't have to do anything at all. And usually only like 50 to 55% of people vote. This year, they think it'll be more like 60 or 65%. And a few years ago in 2014, it was like 40 or 45% of people voted. So it changes every election depending on how people feel. But an average is like 50% of people vote.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
So
so my
that's
family,
very different.
my family that lives there, they have to take the envelope and either there are lots of places like at the police station, at the mail, the post office, where you can put it into a box and then the government takes care of it there. Or you can, for free, the postage is already paid. It says on my thing, U.S. postage prepaid. You can just put it in the mailbox, and the the postman will take it to the government for you.
But in your case, it can only be by mail, by electronic mail.
I mean, I could put an international stamp on it and return it in the mail, but it probably wouldn't get there in time. Maybe.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
I just don't think it'll return in time.
Okay. If there's an option for electronic mail, it just goes. And do you? How do you know? How do you? How do you know you voted? You like not you. You're voting by electronic mail, so you have that sent email proof. But your father, he goes to the post office and then he gives the ballot or he puts the ballot somewhere. Does he get a ticket? Does he get a paper something proving that he vote? Well, I don't know what happens because here in Brazil when we had paper, we went to a place and we put the thing in an urn ourselves. Uh, how do you know you voted? Your vote actually counted.
Yeah, that's a good question. And I think at a certain point, no matter what way that you vote, you end up having to just trust
Okay.
because, like my parents, they're probably going to put it in the mail and trust that the postman will deliver to the government and that whoever the person is that works for the government opens and counts correctly. They can go to a website run by the government and confirm that someone counted their ballot.
But not to they can't confirm the candidates.
No, you can't confirm exactly how you voted. You can just confirm that it was counted.
So every time they take it to the post office, they can go to a website and confirm if they got it. What if they go to a website and it says no, it's
Uh,
not confirmed, we didn't get it. They can go and get a new ballot.
you can always get a new ballot. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, that's nice.
But like if you hand deliver your ballot, you know, to the government, then you still have to trust that the people working for the government count correctly.
Hmm.
And if you use an electronic ballot, you have to trust that the computer counts correctly.
So that's why Trump was saying that maybe this thing is rigged. Uh, maybe this thing is. I don't know if I'll accept the results. That's one of the reasons because you have to trust, and he can just say no, I don't trust, and I'm the president, so I want it recounted, and then they recount, and no, but I still don't trust. So okay,
Yeah,
and you can do that at anywhere actually,
you can do that with
electronic
any
urn or
system.
not.
There's no way to vote and not end up with this problem.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. That's weird to think. So let's not think about it. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's a little disturbing, but oh well.
Okay. Trusting people.
Yeah.
2020.
Um, so I think that uh, on the initiatives, right? We had the one about political money, and Then up here, there is the initiatives. And these are ones that the people created. Like, we don't even need politicians for these. If you get enough signatures of people who say, yeah, this should be a law, we want this, you can totally skip the politicians and create a law with just citizens. And this is a great example of one, because people in Oregon want psilocybin, they want magic mushrooms to be legal. And the politicians, they're not so sure that this is a good idea. But the people
You
said,
don't say
no, we want it.
you don't say magic mushrooms, Ryan. You say psychoactive mushrooms.
Whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
And so now it's here that we can vote on, and the people can decide if mushrooms should be legal or not. And the politicians were not involved at all. They got totally skipped.
How do they get to have that on the ballot?
You have to get a certain number of signatures of people who support putting this on the ballot.
Psilocybin in this case.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And
Um,
knowing the people of Canby, what do you think the result will be for psilocybin?
well, in Canby, it'll probably be a hard no. But Oregon is a different. This is a statewide thing.
Maybe a soft yes.
Yeah, I think it could be closer, and I don't know how it'll turn out actually.
Okay.
Oregonians are pretty sold on the idea of marijuana, which is the next one here. They want to use money from selling marijuana to pay for addiction recovery centers. In Oregon, marijuana is already legal. There's a tax on it from the state that pays for various things. And this initiative would raise the tax and use the money to pay for addiction recovery centers. And I feel very confident in saying this will pass, and it won't even be close. But the psilocybin one, I don't know. I think it'll be closer. Yeah. And then the last two, so the previous ones were state measures for the entire state of Oregon, and these two are just for Canby. Only Canby things. And they have levies, which I don't even know if this word exists in Portuguese. Does it?
I don't know. Let me check. Levy, like a charge?
No.
Like a collection, like a debt, like
Something like
a
that.
tax.
A tax, yeah. It's a very specific tax for a short period of time. It's not a forever tax. It won't be there forever.
Okay.
And it's only for a specific purpose. And this first one is it's a 5-year levy for children's safety services. And so it's asking if Clackamas County should support local children's safety services with a 15-cent per $1,000 property tax.
Okay.
And then in 5 years, we'll have probably a vote like the second one here, which is asking to renew the local levy. In this case, it's for fire and emergency medical services. And
This is
so,
really, really cool.
if it passes, the government can use the money only for this thing. They can't take the money for fire services and spend it on the school. Can't do that. You can only spend fire money on fire things, or children money on children things.
Yeah, this is really, really different and very, very cool.
Yeah. So that's it. That's the whole ballot. And
It's a long ballot. It has a lot of things. It's a complete. I I see it as a complete ballot. It's nice. It's nice. A lot of things to vote on. I don't know how that would work in Brazil for most people, um, but I like it. I like it.
what do you think is the weirdest part? You said the
The
initiatives.
weirdest.
Do you think that that's really the weirdest part?
And that ballot specifically is the psilocybin part.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, the weirdest part of the
Do you think
ballot.
it's weird because like a state is making that decision, or the people bypass the politicians, or
And not weird. It's just surprising. It's different.
uh-huh.
It's nice. I like it. It's just the psilocybin thing. It's weird because it's a psychoactive mushroom thing. It's interesting. But I like that part of people having that power. People being
Sure.
able to choose and just going over their heads in a way.
Sure.
That's really really cool.
If Brazilians had this power, what do you think would be like the first thing that they would make an initiative about?
Something about beer or barbecue. Something. No, I'm joking, but at
Probably
this
though.
moment, something related with. I mean, with the people that are in charge, uh, the people that have the education, people that have the formal education. I mean, people that have the money, the power, and the influence. I think they would. At this moment, they would vote something related. They would vote for something related to corruption. Okay. Um, not that it would work, but I think a group of people would vote for something related to corruption. Okay.
Hmm. Interesting.
Or maybe something very conservative related to uh, something against trans people rights or gay rights, because we've been experiencing a very conservative moment in Brazil. So something related to that.
Yeah, that was kind of my feeling too. It would be something like that. But do you have any other questions? After I fill this out, I already did most of it, but when I finish, I just have to make a PDF scan of it and send it to the government on their email. That's it.
POTUS.
To what?
To the POTUS email.
No, not to the president, to the state.
Okay. Right. No, I don't remember. I might have forgotten a question or two, but I don't remember any questions at the moment.
All right, cool.
Okay.
Then that's it for today. Thanks everybody for watching. I hope that you have a better understanding of some things about America, some things about how politics works there. And we'll see you guys all next week, where hopefully we'll be a little bit lighter again, something more fun and party atmosphere. Okay, so see you guys later.
Thank you.
Thanks.
See you. Bye bye.